Rangers have gone through it all. Administration, liquidation, the rebirthing of the entire football club. They've started at the very bottom of the professional pyramid in Scotland and they've made it all the way to the Premiership, spending 2 years there. And there's one thing left that they have to overcome, and that's to stop Celtic from going 10 in a row. Enter Steven Gerrard. I'm joined by CJ Novo 992. How you doing, my friend?
I'm all right, man.
I bet you're excited.
I'm feeling
yeah?
good. I'm very, very excited. You know, Stevie G's army. Here we are.
A couple of good performances in pre-season. Obviously, pre-season's one thing, although you're playing in Europe, but the Premiership starts soon, and you've got Aberdeen first round. How do you think Steven Gerrard has been taken to by the Rangers fans?
I think if you look at even his welcome, it was just absolute pandemonium. Like the stand was like they had to actually open the stand up because there was that many fans waiting outside just for him to be announced, and it's just been amazing ever since. It still hasn't really set in for a lot of people. Just like when I'm talking to Rangers fans and that, Steven Gerrard, like you just think him obviously at Liverpool captain. He's one of the best of his generation. For him to be a manager already, obviously it's a risk. But to be honest with you, just the way that he's came in, he speaks, he's very direct because obviously he's played the game, and I think the players have responded brilliantly to him. So it's amazing, and the fans just are absolutely in love with him.
Yeah, he talked about the players having they need to be obsessed with success, obsessed with achieving. I mean that's what you want to hear from your manager, whether he's experienced or not.
Absolutely, that's exactly what you want to hear. Like he demands it for the players, and every player has stepped up. You can see like every training session you hear about, every wee Instagram post that we get, he's demanding people. Nobody's getting off it. Like doesn't matter if their reputation, if they're playing the game, if they're 19, if they're just coming up for the youth team, they all play the same way, or they're not going to be playing, and that's amazing.
No ponies who are pretending, just little crazy jogs in, watching the ball. We go to win the ball all over the pitch. Okay, get it in your heads now.
Obviously, despite that, there's always going to be critics or questions about Gerrard, the fact that he doesn't have any experience, only managed under 18s at Liverpool. Is there any worry or any reservation that a club the size of Rangers might be a bit too big for Gerrard at this stage of his managerial career?
I think maybe when it was first announced there was that worry, but I think if you've been watching him obviously with the pre-season and the Europa League games and even some of the other games since, it's obviously you just look at him and just saying this guy's clearly got something, and it seems to be a risk that's going to be paid off because he's changed everything about the football club, the way we play, the way we train, the players look 100% fitter than they did last year. It's unbelievable, demand success. And yeah, I don't think it's a risk anymore. I think he's proved it.
So you say things have changed. What can you tell me specifically? Is that training, but their attitude on the pitch? What have you noticed that's changed in Rangers since he's come in?
The biggest, if I'm being honest with you, is the workload actually in the games, the quickness. We actually track back, we hunt players down there, we want the ball. Because one of the big criticisms was we always used to wait for the ball to come to us, and then we would try and play, and we'd be passing back and forth and be very lackadaisical and just really boring and slow play. But now Gerrard, he demands quick, he wants attacking play, he wants everyone pushing up the field, he wants to win it back. All his signings have got pace. That's something he demands, and they're a lot bigger and physical. That's something he talks about in every press conference, every post-match interview. Physical, win the ball back and play football. Turn Rangers into a team to be feared.
And he talks about his pressing from the front, defensively much better. What style of football do you see Gerrard playing in going into the new season?
I would definitely say it's high pressure. Like I think he wants to be on the ball and absolutely dominate it, because the last couple of managers have wanted the ball just to like possession style. Gerrard kind of seems to be wants to win the ball, high pressure, push up the field and shoot as much as possible. That's clearly his game plan. He's always forward thinking. He doesn't want to mess about in the back and just slow the game down. He wants it to be fast and attacking.
Rangers are obviously a massive football club. They come with them their own, problems and baggage. Gone through all kinds of things over the last 5 or 6 years, more than any fans of any club should go through, really.
Absolutely.
What are the risks and what are the challenges that Gerrard has to face and deal with, other than just managing your football side, which is enough?
Yeah, absolutely, because you've got all the stuff kind of off the field with Rangers. There's always stories each and every single day. It just seems to be like an absolute roller coaster. But I think the two things that he's got to focus on, because he can't really do anything about the stuff that's behind the scenes. I think he's got to worry about his team performance, obviously, but actually Celtic as well, because Celtic's obviously they're just running the league absolutely into the ground, man. They're just a unit. They just churn out results. So that one, and also I'd say the actual Scottish media, because they can already see they try and twist everything, try and be overly negative and sort of criticise them already. That's something he's going to need to be wary of, because I think it's something that they're going after him for already, and he's got to be big enough. But he's Steven Gerrard, you know what I mean? He's played captain Liverpool all these years. He's won everything. He'll be used to that.
What are you saying that there's a bias against Rangers in the Scottish press?
I wouldn't say like blatantly biased, but I just think it's more because obviously we're struggling. Celtic's winning all the time, so there's not really that much need to be in the newspapers or anything like that. Like, what can they say? But whenever Rangers slip up, it's just terrible. Look at last season; we were in the papers called rudderless all the time. We sacked 2 managers, yet we still had the opportunity to catch Celtic by 3 points. But yet the media sort of pushed that ahead as Rangers had this terrible, horrible season, and Celtic are just the gods of Scottish football. But there was still that game. I know Celtic beat us and everything that, but there was still that opportunity there to cut it to 3 points. And if you just look at the media outlets, it's just completely different.
Do you think the pressure of dealing with this monolithical opponent in Celtic, Rangers and Celtic, they're kind of they're both sides of the coin, aren't they? They kind of need each other, but it is an additional pressure that perhaps Steven Gerrard doesn't need. How does he go about dealing with Celtic and the fact that you have to play in 4 games, probably more each season? Do you think he's going to be able to cope with that?
I think so, yeah, especially because it's Steven Gerrard. That's definitely one of the things that's been most critical of the last couple of managers, because you've just looked at them, you've looked at the records, you're like, are they going to be able to handle the kind of comparison? Because I don't think there's any derby like Rangers and Celtic. Like, the old form is just frightening to be there, it's to be a part of. It's a brilliant game of football to watch, and like you said, they definitely do need each other. The whole league needs them, if I'm being honest with you. You need them back to their best. I think Gerrard, if you go back and look at all his rivalries during his playing career, that's something that he's obviously known, like his rivalries with Manchester United. It's just stuff he'll be used to that now, and that's something he can instill and actually pass on to some of the players that he's obviously lived through it, he's been through it all, and that's something he can definitely pass on, in my opinion anyway.
Obviously, Rangers, massive expectation there. Every time you sign a new manager or a player, it's like you're going to win the league. Or, Kachina, there was sort of fanfare when this guy who came in, he really didn't have the credentials to be in that job.
I know.
But, the expectation was high. The expectation now must be through the roof. What are the fans at Ibrox saying about Gerrard? What do they expect from him?
Well, I'd say the fans, like, they demand success. Obviously, the Rangers fans, they never ever wanted say out saying, second place is good enough. That will never. It doesn't matter who's in charge of the football club. The first place is an absolute must for Rangers fans. We just can't settle for second place, in my opinion. But again, we are a wee bit realistic, though. I would say I wouldn't say we're going to win the league by like 15, 20 points. We know it's an extremely hard challenge. Celtic's obviously a well accomplished football team. Every sort of position's well stacked. They've got 3 main goal scorers now. Brendan Rodgers is, to be fair, a very, very good manager. Seems to just work it no matter whoever's playing. So the fans actually know that, but they still demand success. So I think pushing for first place is a must, and we've got to win a cup this year, if I'm honest with you. A team like Rangers, the fan base that deserves a cup for that, especially what they've been through the last 6 or 7 years, mate. The cup needs to at least come home.
What is it like having Celtic as a rival? I'm a Spurs fan, so I understand being, the lesser successful club. I know Rangers are the most successful football team in the world and all that sort of stuff.
You knew it was coming.
I do know that, but for a long time, certainly the last 7 or 8 years, Celtic have been above. What's it like coping? Because you're in the same city. The city is divided between blue and green. You're among them all the time.
I would say it is pretty difficult because obviously Celtic, to be fair, Celtic fans went through this in the 90s. Obviously, with Rangers gone through their historical 9 in a row, so we kind of lived through that, and we saw the positives. Now we're actually seeing the flip side of it, and we're actually seeing the negatives of seeing a team dominate the league so viciously. I'd say it's actually a credit to the fans, because each and every single Old Firm game, there's still cheers, there's still like packed Raptors. We still believe, even though Celtic's obviously, especially in the last 2 seasons, been quite vicious in actual some of the games. Like, some of the results have been very, very one-sided. It is hard to deal with, but again, there's always that new season, there's always that positivity, there's always improvement, and that's what we need to do. Listen, 6-7 years ago when we were in the 3rd division, we knew we weren't just going to win the leagues and just beat Celtic right away. We know it's a journey, and it's not over yet. But
I suppose you could always say, though, that even if they do 10 in a row, that Rangers weren't in the league for like 3 or 4 of them, so kind of to compete with. All they had is Aberdeen.
Yeah, that's what we'll certainly tell ourselves. Yeah, I think the history books, if you look at it, will still say 10 in a row. So I think every Rangers fan, if you ask, they'll not use that as an excuse. They need to stop that from happening, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Is the squad strong enough this season to stop that happening? Can you win the league with the squad you've got?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, if we look at like last year, we were top goal scorers in the league, even though we didn't really always perform against Celtic. So we always could score goals, but where our biggest weakness was we were the 8th ranked defensively in the entire league. We were just awful, honestly. Like the defence just didn't exist. So Gerrards came in and he's just sorted that instantly. That's exactly where he's attacked. He's brought in Connor Goldson from Brighton, who absolutely looks like he's just strolling the league already. He's brought in Katic. There's 2 strong physical players. One of the biggest things for the fans looking at the centre-back partnership last year was they were too slow. We had Bruno Alves. There wasn't any pace or anything like that. But he's just came in against that. He knows what the league is. He's improved that position. He's brought in Flanagan, who is a very, very talented football player as well from Liverpool. He's sprung in the midfield, strengthened that up as well. That's key areas, and obviously brought back a former fan favourite and a natural winner, and that's going to be Alan McGregor. So all the sort of positions defensively in the midfield, the holding position roles, he's came in and improved. So everything we were weak on last year, he's improved, and he's just sort of added to what we were actually good at. So on paper, anyway, as it stands today, it looks like he's improved all our weak points and only improved our best points as well, which is good.
Okay, and finally, how does it all play out? What realistically do you see come May 2019?
Realistically, I'd go with Rangers and Celtic to be very, very close. I think it's actually going to come down to the Old Firm games, if I'm being honest with you, because we played each other 4 times. I think it's going to determine what's going to go with that. I was a little bit apprehensive about Rangers' strike force going into the season, especially if you look at Celtic. They've got 3 natural goal scorers. The person they just bought from PSG for £9 million, Lee Griffiths and Dembele, the 3 established strikers. We've only got one just now in Alfredo Morelos, so that's always a worry. But if you take in consideration we were the highest goal scorers in the league last year, we've improved what we were bad at. I say it's going to be very close, and I can't come on here and say we're going to accept second. So I'll say we'll score a 90th minute winner and against Celtic, and that'll wrap the league up for us.
All right, thank you very much, CJ. Remember to go over to his channel and subscribe. A link to that is in the description below. And if you haven't done, drop a like on this channel and subscribe to Ball Street. We're back for the new season, bigger and better. We'll see you soon.